Hello, good evening, what is going on? It's your boy Yosa33, welcome to this Anarchy Analysis gameplay where we're covering G2 Esports and Rogue in this LEC match of the week. This is a very important matchup as Rogue are on blue side, G2 are on red side. There's a lot at stake in this game. Rogue win this, they're in playoffs guaranteed. G2 need this win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Nonetheless, Champion Select is loading up here, and the first ban is going to be the Ezreal. Strong, solid pick in that bot lane. That's a lot of safety. Prioritized ban is very strong. Thresh ban, standard. Don't let Vander get these playmakers. He's a phenomenal player on these sorts of picks, and obviously a lot of safety in that champion. TF and Kalista are the next two bans. TF is a Caps special. Caps loves to roam. He loves to get his other laners ahead, so removing that champion is huge. Volibear ban also follows that, and the Ori ban. So yeah, some nice bans coming out from either team there. They make a whole lot of sense. And yeah, let's have a look-see at the first round of picks. Philios, first pick for Rogue. Obviously, with the Ezreal removed and Varus' priority dropping considerably due to the recent nerfs, this champion gets picked a whole lot more. I'd expect maybe an Ashe or the Syndra being flexed to the bot side for G2, which is a good option into the Philios because you can scatter a weak down the Philios and lock him up with ease with her kit. And as such, that could also be played mid lane as a safe blind pick, considering the Ori was banned. Next pick we're going to discuss is G2's second pick, which will be the Bard. Bard as a whole, very strong champion in providing roam, a lot of healing tools, and can realistically just control the game with that Tempered Fate. He's a very strong objective champion, and as such, it is very nice to see this champion picked up here for Mickey. Nautilus, I like that pick if they lock it into the Bard and the Azir as well. Great reason why I like Nautilus into Bard is the fact that your Dredge line, if it hooks onto the Bard before he goes through his magical journey, then you've obviously got your CC lockup. If the Bard goes through the magical journey, you're probably going to hook onto the wall he's journeyed through, so it's a great champion at chasing down a Bard as a whole. And similarly to that, the Azir also has a lot of mobility in his kit. He also has a lot of attack speed and is probably one of the best scaling carries in League at the moment. Speaking of scaling carries, that Senna, strong pick, and there's a lot of healing in that bottom G2 side of the map because Senna has her Q that provides a lot of healing. She also has a Dawning Shadow ultimate that provides shielding, and then Bard has his shrines to provide heals as well. As such, I would expect to see some bans towards the jungle and the top side here for both teams. Olaf ban makes a lot of sense against Inspired. Lee Sin would be a good option as well as a ban from G2, as it's a strong playmaking champion, something that Inspired wants to do. He wants to get his laners like Hans Sama and Larsen ahead, as Finn's more of this weak side top laner. Rek'Sai, strong roaming jungler, obviously using them tunnels to get around the map and also invade. It's a very prioritized pick if you're G2 because Jankos plays a phenomenal Rek'Sai. I'd expect maybe a Kha'Zix ban as well to come through. If Rogue do not ban it, it's probably going to be first picked in this second phase by G2, as it's probably the strongest jungler in the current meta, bar say a Set, who's played a lot. But they're actually going to ban out the Wukong, which Wunder has performed exceptionally with in the recent games that G2 have won. And G2's last ban that we didn't discuss is the Ornn, so they're removing the safe top lane matchup for Rogue, because Finn realistically would rely on a tank matchup because he likes to play safe side top, and I do see immediately the Kha'Zix being locked in for G2. Expect maybe the Sion, maybe a GP for Rogue for Finn to play here. Obviously it's a strong champion, and that Sion is a good lock-in my opinion, because that gives Rogue a very strong front line with the Nautilus alongside it, That's a lot of CC in the kit. That's a lot of burst as well from if the Aphelios and Azir are able to free fire in a fight. And that set makes a lot of sense. He wants to be going for the Kha'Zix to stop him getting on the backline. He wants to showstopper him out. He wants to take him into his own team and then slam him down and do a lot of damage with his Facebreaker. Now, if G2 lock in that mod, I like that pick a lot because that allows you to remove the frontline options from Rogue from a fight. You can isolate them, so you can take out the Sion. You can take out the set from a fight. Nautilus not so much because he just needs to land his hook and then he's done his job. But you can realistically just stop the amount of threat to your backline by taking out one of them champions. And looking at these two drafts, Rogue are playing a protect the carry comp with the Sion set and not protecting the Azir and the Aphelios. And G2 are looking to remove the carries with the Kha'Zix, with the Syndra lockup. They have a lot of heals and sustain with the Bard and the Senna, so they're looking to heal through the frontliners of Rogue and then just burst down the carries with the Kha'Zix. But this draft looks very, very interesting as a whole. I realistically want this game to go long, and nonetheless, we're almost into the game here as it's G2 versus Rogue. Very close matchup as a whole to see, but without further ado, we're gonna see this mega matchup take to the Rift as G2 face Rogue. As we load up to the Rift, we see a fairly standard setup so far. Bard roaming down bot side, looking to get a bit of protection on the bot side of the map to stop an invade. G2, though, looking also top side, Kha'Zix and Maud looking to collapse into Inspired, who's hiding in that brush. They are going to spot him. The Q from the Maud is not going to land, and I expect to see some early matchup that goes mad. And caps his Syndra. 15 wins, 3 losses. That is huge. That is a massive thing, considering you've only dropped 1 in your 5 matches on this champion. That is big. And one thing to note is Rogue's bot laner hanging around this top side of the map. They're probably looking to invade into the G2 jungle here. Setta's also been caught out by the Kha'Zix and wards that brush to make sure that the follow-up doesn't come through. But Rogue are just pushing through here. Look at the bot lane, and Sion is bot side of the map. Are we possibly seeing a lane switch? Because Sion is taking the Raptor camp. And yeah, G2 setting up normally. Aphelios has gone top. Sion's cleared out the Razor Beats. Oh, Mickey might catch him out here. Nope, the recall comes in time. Very close there for Rogue, losing Sion there. But this is a lane switch in 2020. So, essentially, lane switching was Season 3. It was a thing that teams used to do to get an advantage matchup. The only disadvantage is it puts your top laners in a weak side matchup that's very, very weak. And it also gives so much gold over to the Aphelios, considering they're going to be going for the turret. Now, the only issue is top side turrets have a lot more armor on them. And it's because there's a lot more durability on that tower. And this slightly favours G2 as Maud has roamed down to the bot side of the map to join his bot side champions. And Kha'Zix is there too. A G2 gonna dive here as the Sion Q is used, and Mickey's tanking turret. And now it's just Wunder tanking. Flash does come out from Bard, but First Blood does go over to the Sion. And Senna gets a second kill game, but that is huge for Rogue. and looking at the top side, the turret plating is slowly falling as TP is coming in from Sion. G2 could look to punish this, as Kha'Zix is still in the area. As Mord's TPing in, they're going to redo this dive. Set is down here as well. G2 don't have a mini wave though. They couldn't die this possibly, unless they go fully in onto the Set. And they are going in on Set. The Q from Mord's going to land. Haymaker is not available to the Set, but the Facebreaker and then the Haymaker combo is going to kill Mickey. And the Flash is forced out of the center. Mord and Set are in danger, and the turret gold is slowly going in favor of Rogue. And G2 are going to kill off the Sion thanks to another W landing from the center. And Finn is just going to die again. And another TP is coming in from the Azir here. And this should be G2 disengaging, hopefully. And yeah, that's just going to force Rogue to disengage instead of G2. And looking at the gold, Perkz is slightly ahead. And oh, Caps forces the flash out of the Azir with the Scatter of the Week. This is an insane start to the game already. 2 kills on either side. Turret plating advantage on the side of Rogue. What is going on? Like, that made a lot of sense for G2 to do that, to punish the bot side matchup that they were given. It makes a lot of sense to do that. And G2 doing that was very smart. But the execution wasn't the best in my opinion, as G2 swap the laners around again, as mid sees a lot of damage onto the Syndra, and yeah, makes a lot of sense here from G2. Rogue looking to steal away the Raptors because they have that control ward in that brush up top side of that vision. You can obviously see they're going to get a bit of an advantage away from Jankos. They want to keep the Set ahead. That being said, the rest of the match world in the game, Senna fairly even in CS, similarly in the mid lane. Top side, slowly but surely an advantage is going over to the Sion, and Kha'Zix has a slight advantage over the Set. This is actually huge, and G2 are yet again lane swapping, as Senna's gone top and Aphelios has gone bot. Wunder might be in danger here, as the flash forward is coming from the Aphelios. Gravitum is going to land, and this is going to be a dive possibly coming out from Vander. He's going to tank up the turret damage, but Mordekaiser stays alive, and that dive nearly gave a kill over to that Aphelios. Jankos though, hovering around mid lane. The possibility of a dive onto Azir is huge, but because Mickey stepped on a control ward, that does mean the dive is not going to come through, and he's just going to disengage from the wave. So, pretty standard gameplay now as the Aphelios have swapped back to the bot side of the map. And look at that top turret damage. If Herald is taken by Rogue, it's more than likely going to be first turret gold for free topside. As we look at the level progression, Azir is slightly ahead as Bard looking to stun the Aphelios, and the Senna W does land, but they're not going to dive her. Or him, I should say. I don't assume genders. Let's not assume genders. But yeah, Rogue staying slightly ahead, even though the gold is fairly close. And this game is going to slow down considering everything is coming back to normal. And Inspired could Hex Flash over that wall and dive straight onto Mickey without Flash. He is going to notice him, as that does force the magical journey out of the Bard. The hook from Nautilus misses, and G2 are looking to engage here onto this bot side, and Wunder is just taking a lot of damage from that Sion. Sion is going to flash forward into the Mord. He is going to lock him up as the shield coming out from the Dawning Shadow keeps Wunder alive. But that should mean that the bot side of G2 should play a bit safe due to that ultimate being on cooldown. And Inspired is Hex flashing in here. He's looking to get that face breaker onto the Senna. And it is gonna land. That is a dead Senna. Aphelios picks up 1 kill as Jankos is coming in to kill off the Aphelios. But this is not gonna be enough. And he barely gets him though. And that is a double over to the Aphelios. And 1 kill onto the Kha'Zix. But the goal difference is slowly opening up as now a 1k gold lead has been attained by Rogue here. And this is going to be a very, very hard matchup for Wunder to play, considering he was put behind quite hard by Rogue. But that's a big issue here with this team comp for me. Rogue have put the wrong guy behind, in my opinion. Wunder's job in this game in teamfights is just to remove a member from the fight. He doesn't care if he dies. He's just there to essentially remove you from a fight and keep his team safe. That's all he has to do. So realistically, if he just gets his death realm off, he's done his job in a teamfight. And as such, I don't think Rogue's targeting of the Mordekaiser was the right one. They could have obviously gone to try and get the Senna behind or Caps behind, because Perkz realistically has had quite a poor summer split in my opinion in comparison to the rest of G2. He's been the one that's being caught out quite a lot in terms of plays, and as such I think it's quite important to note that he could be the weakest G2 bot lane that they've had in a couple of years. And that's because he's a mid laner at heart. G2 had a rough spring, I guess, with him in the mid lane, because Caps is not a bot laner. And you can see Caps this summer has stepped up considerably for G2, as we may see a dive onto Senna here as he is on his lonesome, and Jankos is just hovering here. And we could see that Gravitum gun from Aphelios actually kill him, as we are going to see him step out the brush. The Gravitum shot is going to land. Then the Infernum gun is switched out immediately. TP is coming in from the Sion and the Azir. That is a double TP, and that is Wunder on his lonesome. He takes himself into death round with the Azir, but he is going to fall anyway, as the Showstopper is going to catch on to the Syndra, and that is another double kill. And make that a triple with the Senna dying. That is going to be first turret gold over to Rogue, as Temper Fate is used. Is it a bit too early? Who knows? And it was. That is going to be first turret gold over to Rogue, and a nice quad kill there. Sorry, triple kill for Rogue, and maybe in re-engage here from G2 could happen. No, G2 are not going to commit. But that was a big fight win there for Rogue over G2. Kha'Zix pops his ult there, looking to obviously engage onto Aphelios. But as we watch this fight again, so Senna clearing vision, and G2 kind of knows something's happening topside. Jankos is hovering around here, and Aphelios is ready with the Gravitum. He shoots him once, immediately pops it to stun him. That forces a stopwatch out of the center, and Jankos is then on his lonesome to take all the damage. Dredge Lightning lands, and then the Aphelios just shoots him dead. And the double TP from Rogue is then followed up by G2's a bit too late, and that does force a death realm early from Mord to essentially allow him to try and escape, but he is immediately killed by the Azir. As Wunder is in danger as the Gravitum shots are going to land, it means that he is just going to burn down to the Ignite from the Naught, and that is another kill over to Rogue. So Rogue are getting quite far ahead here. They are going to probably get this Cloud Drake for free because G2 can't contest, and as we look at the current standings, Rogue 10-2, as a nice ultimate out of the Azir does not land anything, and Jankos is looking to kill him, and we are going to see the Dawning Shadows kill off the Azir as Jankos jumps in to try and secure it, and G2 trade the kill onto Wunder with a kill onto Azir as Mickey is looking to kill off this Nautilus, but Inspired is here. He is looking to face this as Temper Fate is going to lock up the Bard and the Set together, but Perk just walks straight into the Facebreaker and gets Showstopper to death. That is another double over to the Aphelios, as Jankos is not going to get killed there, but I don't think G2 should try and fight this anymore, as they just give over another 2 kills to the Aphelios. He's at 5-1-3 right now. He is so fed. He is going to be a hard person to kill in these next fights, and Jankos is probably going to be having to target him. But Wunder just got decimated earlier. But Perks just did something really stupid in my opinion. He walked into a Set. Set still had his E, and literally just pulled him in, got behind him, bish bash bosh, Showstopper, you're dead. That is a pretty bad fight from G2 in my opinion. And as such, realistically, just got caught out in a bad spot there. And it's not like they could have got away with trying to escape. Mickey engaged that fight. He engaged into the Naught. Like, surely if the Naught's standing underneath your turret, there's probably going to be a dive from Rogue. And they essentially just gave over 2 kills. As we look at this replay towards the mid lane, we watch what happens. Azir just is looking to get aggressive with Finn being there to come in with the Scion. Jankos, though, immediately targets the carry, as the Dawning Shadow just comes straight in. It is going to be enough to execute him, and Jankos didn't need to leap in, but it does mean that it was a kind of a securing movement. Gold difference, you can see there's 2k gold difference between the bot laners. That is huge. And there's only a 200 gold difference between mid and bot from Senna and Azir. But Caps is just right behind Larssen. But look at Wunder. He has less gold than Vander. That is not good, because that is your top laner behind a support who isn't going to be collecting gold other than his support item. As the Hex Flash from Set is going to come through, it does mean the Scatter Week is going to force away the Facebreaker. Temper Fate is going to land onto 3, and that is just a Showstopper straight onto the Syndra. And Hans Sommer's Infernum Moonlight Vigil is going to be enough to kill off the Syndra. And Jankos has got to run here, but here comes Larssen. He is going to push him back into the Vander, and that is a dead Kha'Zix. Nice double kill there for Rogue, and it was a good punish of the positioning of the Syndra. But looking at the kill difference, it's 12-4. It's a 5k gold lead at 16 minutes for Rogue. And this is becoming more and more unreachable for G2 to contest this. And this is a big, big game. That being said, Caps just reached level 11. He has his TP online. So G2 could look to contest this Infernal Drake in 1 minute. And Caps is already down the spot side, setting up the bot wave, pushing into this turret that could fall as Vander picks up his Gargoyle Stoneplate, and Phantom Dancer is online for this Aphelios. Speaking of which, Aphelios also has his IE and his Berserker boots. He is going to be very hard to lock down. He's going to be piling out a lot of damage in these fights, and it means he's going to get a bit of shielding. He's going to look to save this as Jankos does steal away the red buff there. That is also going to be the bot lane turret falling. G2 still looking to fight back in this game, as they're getting bits of gold here and there across the board. So, Infernal Drake's going to spawn, and G2 actually controlled a vision around this bot wave of the map, and that should be them getting this Infernal, whereas Rogue summoning up the Herald in the top lane, they're going to get this tier 2 turret for free, and that Rift Herald could get a charge off onto this inhib turret, and it is going to be cancelled this time by the Tempered Fate. This time, actually, it worked. Nicely done by Mickey this time. Perkz hits level 11, so does Wunder. They're hitting their second tier ults, and that is going to be a lot more damage, especially from the Dawning Shadows. Speaking of the Dawning Shadows user, Senna just picks up her Duskblade. That means a lot more damage and healing from this champion. And G2 are going to be looking to scale up to late game if they're wanting to contest this Rogue side. That is their goal at this stage of the game, is just to scale and clear the waves. That is essentially all they can do as well. And Caps has his Luna's Echo. He also is looking to build up a Spellbinder with that needlessly large rod, which will be a lot of damage. I do believe the build that he is going to go is going to be Luna's Echo, Spellbinder, Deathcap. He wants to maximize his damage that he can output in a fight. That is going to be huge considering he's going through so many tanks on the Rogue side of things. And as such, that Liandry's pickup for Maud is going to be huge as well, because of the tank status of the Rogue lineup, plus that Liandry's will do a lot for him against the Aphelios if he's isolated him in a 1v1, because the healing that's going to come out from the Severum is going to be nullified by a bit of the Liandry's effect. That being said, that Scatter Week is going to land onto the Aphelios, and that is going to force the Dawning Shadows from the center. TPs are coming in from both sides, and this is going to be a full 5v5. The Azir is going to be caught out, and Jankos is going to look to chase him down. The Haymaker is going to land, though, onto Perkz, and this is going to be a re-engage as the Showstopper lands onto Mordekaiser. Nautilus, though, has been left on his lonesome and is killed off by G2. That is going to be a 1-for-0 there in favor of G2, and that should also be this mid lane turret falling as well. Possibility of them turning to Baron, but I highly don't think they will, considering the fact that Jungler is still alive for Rogue, and that is also going to be Titanic Hydra for the Sion. That Sion's going to be pumping out a lot more damage in these team fights as well. And vision control is gained by G2 around this Baron pit, which is a huge thing to note as we rewatch this fight. Syndra sets up the orb, Scattered Week lands, and if that Severum was not the gun of choice for the Aphelios, he would have maybe died, but Tempered Fate goes away aside of the Azir, does not land, as the hook from the Nautilus does isolate himself, and that means that he is going to be a pretty easy target, as a 3v3 is the extent of this fight, as the Showstopper just pulls in Wunder, does not do any damage to him, and that just allows him to just kill off the Nautilus, as we are seeing a bit of an engage there onto Mickey. But yeah, G2 are starting to come back online here this game, and that is not something you want to be saying if you're a Rogue fan, because Rogue have had firm control of this game from the start, as Aphelios gets his Hurricane. He's on his 3-item power spike, and that is a huge thing for the Aphelios because that means a lot more damage in fights. I'm interested to see how much of a gold difference there is between the laners in that bot side map, considering Senna has been slowly farming up. Her Mer mana has transformed into the Mana Mune, and that is a big power spike for Senna. Redemption also has been picked up by Bard, so there is a lot of engage tools picked up for G2, and a lot of sustain tools. So G2 will be able to take fights now at this point in the game. I think they're at their strong point in the game, as G2 are hovering around this Drake pit. Jankos could look to flank here, and maybe not. G2 could look to fight, don't get me wrong, but they're actually going to disengage here. They're going to let this Drake go over to Rogue, and as a whole, that's going to be 2 Drakes on Rogue side, 1 to G2, but that is okay for them. It's a very nice spot of the game to be in if you're Rogue, because you can get the 3rd Drake and then you're on sole point. But looking at everything as it stands, Spellbinder has been picked up by the Syndra. I'd hopefully expect her to go for the Needlessly Raj Rod. Next item is the Phase Rush has been procced from her, but she is not going to kill off the Azir, and Jankos is shadowing her, providing a bit of protection by getting her vision, and that is Rogue going straight to the Baron pit. Now that Scry's Bloom is going to notice the attempt being started by Rogue, but Caps does have TP. He's going to probably go back to base and get home guards. But Rogue really just want to get this TP out of the Syndra. They manage this, and once they do that, they just disengage from the Baron. Smartly done here. G2 can't choose to fight it at this point, as the Dawning Shadow is going to come out here. G2 do look to fight here, as Temper Fate is going to land to 3. But that means, though, nothing else is going to happen, because none of the other G2 members were going to commit. If that Scatter of the Week did land for G2, they might have looked to get the pick. But you look at the spells used in that fight. Aphelios did have to use his flash and his heal, so that is a big thing if you're G2. That means that there is no safety tools on Hans Sama, and that does mean when the next fight comes up, he will be summonerless, and that means that Jankos on that Kha'Zix can look to burst him out in a fight. So, gold difference now has slowly but surely gone down from that 5k we saw earlier. It is now down to 3k. And that is the next Needlessly in the back pocket of the Syndra. She is definitely going for the death cap here. As Mickey has been caught out, he is going to be showstopper, but flashes immediately into his magical journey to escape. Good escape there by the Bard, as the rapid fire cannon has been picked up by Senna. Jankos is looking to kill off Larssen if he goes straight into that brush. Azir, though, shuffles past, the armor is given over to him, and that does force a jump out of Kha'Zix, and Flash is traded. That is going to be just a trade of summoners, and Jankos would have killed him if the Azir didn't shuffle, because reason being, Jankos was forced to leap, and the leap did not land onto Azir, and as such it meant that the full damage burst from Kha'Zix means that he was not gonna get killed. That being said, a couple of items picked up there is the Dead Man's Plate for Set, huge item into the armor build of the Kha'Zix. Huge armor for champions such as Kha'Zix and the Senna, and Azir picked up his death cap. A lot more damage on that champion, as perks could look to engage here with that Dawning Shadow Wall. That means Kha'Zix gets a huge shield as he dives onto one of the carries for Rogue. That is his goal. And as you look at all them souls being picked up by Senna, she's very strong. This is going to be a big fight when we see it, as the gold difference, you look at it, is shrinking. So, but surely is G2 possibly looking to dive onto Larssen. Good removing away by Rogue there from the top tier 1. But Rogue are slowly but surely being patient with their gameplay, they're probably going to look to stack the Drakes. That is their goal, as a Flash Hook is going to land onto Jankos, and he is dead. He's on his lonesome as he stopwatches the depth charge, and he is just dead. Nice pick there by Rogue, and that should be Baron over to them, as the jungler from G2 is dead. That being said, Caps has picked up Deathcap. That could be a stealable champion available for G2, as we are seeing them chunking down the Baron. It's down to 3k, it's down to 2k, and we are going to see maybe an engage here from G2 as they're looking to poke in. Bard pokes a Q through. Temper Fate is going to land onto the set. G2 are looking to burst this down, and he does steal it! Oh my days, Syndra with the amazing burst combo steals the Baron. That being said, he trades his own life for it, and that is going to be 4 Barons on G2's side of the map. Holy moly! I don't know if Set was available to actually smite that. He does have it up right now, but was he still in status? I'm unsure. That was a huge steal from G2, as they just managed to probably put this game in their hands, as Rogue probably are going to get that Mountain Drake. Anyway, let's look at this. So Temper Fate comes through. It does lock up Set, and Syndra looking to go in, uses the W. He is out of the status. He didn't smite. He might have been able to steal it. He should have been able to steal it, as Mountain Drake does go over to Rogue. Wow. I don't know what could have happened there, but Rogue narrowly lose their Baron. Great play coming out from Mickey and Caps to steal that away for G2, and that is going to mean a lot here, as Sion is going to flash forward, but he does get hit by the Q from Bard, and that is going to be perked, being chased down. Sion is forced to run away after ulting, and G2 could look to engage here with Kha'Zix coming around the backside. But Sion has been isolated by G2. He is going to be locked up. He is forced into stopwatch. Set forces people away, and this should be engaged. Scatter Week is going to land onto 3, and that is going to be Temper Fate landing onto 0. But G2 should look to disengage here, as Rogue narrowly escape with their lives. But Flash is burnt considerably by the Finn, as a re-engage onto Jankos onto the Azir. That is going to kill off the Azir, but Aphelios does trade onto Senna. What a play there, as G2 pick up a kill. And carry for carry means a whole lot for G2, because that means that they can push the map a bit more freely. As Set coming up to top side, going to clear out this wave, and is not going to chase down the Syndra. But Aphelios is very strong, as G2 could have been caught out there. But Jankos is in a flank position. There could be an engage onto Aphelios, but no. Nautilus is by his side, means that he's just going to walk away and just clear the minions in mid. So, as things stand, Rogue are starting to lose this game, and G2 are coming online. Next Drake is probably where we see a big fight, as that is going to be Soul for Rogue. Chilling Smite from Jankos means that he's just going to walk away from that and is not going to die. But G2 controlling the vision here. They have a lot of vision around this Baron, top side of the Baron pit, and Rogue have no vision. Rogue have 0 vision on the map. So they have no control around this Mountain Drake that's spawning in a minute 40. That being said, Set is looking to engage onto Senna. He's caught him out. Showstopper means that Senna is being pulled into the loving arms of the Azir. And that is also going to be mid lane. Tier 2 turret falling. And G2 are going to have to get back to try and defend this. Because Hans Sama with his guns are just going to melt that turret. And that should also be the inhib falling as well. G2 are going to have to look to punish this in some sort of way in order to contest this Mountain Drake soul. That is what they need to do. But Rogue are going to use this time to reset. They've got a minute before the Drake. And G2 are going to look to maybe go for Baron first before Mountain Soul. But who knows. G2 do know where Rogue are. They spot them out on a ward. And this is going to be a fight possibly as Rogue control the mini waves. They pushed it into the inhib turret of G2, sorry. And G2 are going to have to deal with that sand turret from the Azir if they want to go try and contest this Mountain Drake. And they do so. Down goes the turret. And Jankos is in a flanking position, so is the Set, as the engage comes out from Sion. Look at the damage done to the Azir. Jankos is chasing him down, he has killed him. Looking at the top side of the thing, Bard is forced away through his magical journey. But that is a dead Finn in the Death Realm as he takes the journey too. He follows through. That is going to be him dead though as well. And now it's Aphelios in his lonesome by 3 members of G2. He is going to get a second kill in that fight though. And he is just killed off there by the Syndra burst. That is a shutdown. And that is a 4-for-2 in favor of G2. They're gonna get this Mountain Drake and stop the soul from Rogue. Anyway, let's watch this fight again. So, G2 take this turret down. Inspired coming around the side looking for a flank. And he goes a bit too early here, Finn, as he's looking to try and kill Caps with his ult. He does then immediately get pulled into the Death Realm by Wunder. Then it's just Jankos running down Larssen, and once that happens, it means it's a 4v5 in favor of G2. Senna does get chunked out by Hans Sama and killed, and then Nort just gets killed off by Bard. Then it's just Sion, who was stuck in the Death Realm for so long, trying to escape. He dies and is in his passive, but Caps, when Aphelios gets put into his status, essentially gets a free combo with his abilities because he can line it up without anyone killing him. But looking at the damage in that fight, Wunder came online. That damage was mostly onto the Sion, as IE has been picked up by Senna. Wunder, who was put behind early game, has come back. And as I said, all he needs to do is put the tanks into the Death Realm, and it allows G2 to target the carries. That was his job. He did that phenomenally, and he's also topping the damage charts in that fight. But G2, in the replay, managed to pick up Baron as Sion is going to come in. He's forced to flash away. G2 re-engaging onto him, and he is pretty much dead as the pullback from Mord secures the kill. Well, good night, Finn. That should be G2 looking to push into the base of Rogue. That also should be the inhibitor falling in this 4v5. G2 using this cannon perfectly. It means it can just stay out of the range of the turret. And they're just going to have to stand on it. Make sure Rogue don't kill it. Next minion wave does come crashing into the turret, and that is going to be inhib. G2 aren't stopping here. They're looking to win this game. As Lookedy poked down onto the Azir by Senna, who's stepping forward. Gravitum is the gun of choice for the Azir, as the Temper Fate is going to lock up that turret, and that is huge as the engage is coming out from Rogue. The Showstopper is not going to be enough, and his downfall set. Caps is going off in this fight. Senna picks up the kill onto Aphelios, and down goes the turret. That is the Nexus in the sights of G2, and they are going to take down Rogue in that fight. Wow, what a big game that was. Rogue played a phenomenal early game. Granted, they targeted the wrong person in my opinion. They should have gone on for a carry to put behind instead of Wunder, who's literally only had one job in the game. But as a whole, it was a very interesting game to cover. G2 outscaled Rogue in my opinion with their comp, and we saw that come to fruition. And an amazing Baron steal secured this game for G2 in my opinion, as once G2 came online, there's no stopping them at that point. Essentially, Rogue were forced into making poor plays. Finn kind of was the culprit for Rogue in getting caught out, and timing issues, I guess is the best way to put it, for fights, as he went in way before Set was ready to engage in the second to last team fight of the game, and as such that meant he was just immediately caught out, and it allowed G2 to reposition a bit more favourably to deal with, say, a flank. And yeah, that's going to be the game over and done with. If you enjoyed this cast, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're new around here or if you want to. And I will see you guys later. Peace out.